Today, we read an email. Excuse me. This head cold sinus thing can F off, by the way. Freaking hate it. Here's a message I got. Let's read it. Hey, Scott, I noticed for a while that you were doing videos almost every day about World of Warcraft and the War Within. What changed? I know they still happen, but it seems like you are talking about other things now, too. Just curious how that works. And then this is signed by somebody named, it's either Gerbino or Gerbino. GIF? I don't know. Well, I don't, my first reaction to this was like, well, it's sort of obvious, right? A thing comes out, it's full of hype, it's got a big window around it, everybody's talking about it, and then it kind of starts to not fade, but fizzle a little bit. Because that's the way of it, right? And, I think this is true of the game itself. There are a bunch of people who resub and buy the expansion, and they play a ton of it, and then they get to a certain point, and they're like, yeah, I've had my fill for a bit until there's new content. Meanwhile, others are playing all the hardcore end game they can get, and that's the cycle. Well, I think that cycle's mirrored in the content world. Like, I think that this is probably true of a lot of places. Now, if you have a channel that's just like dedicated to nothing but World of Warcraft, that's all you ever talk about or show or do or stream or whatever, then probably there's less of a blip. But even those that kind of content is going to have a moment of like, well, let's discuss where we're at, or it's not in the fire of the moment anymore. And that's just normal. I've seen enough of these transitions since 2004. It's just kind of how these things go. So it doesn't mean my interest in the game is no less than it was at all. It's just that there's less big crap to talk about constantly. We got new stuff dropping in a week, the island and the whatnot. So there'll be plenty of new stuff to talk about then. And in the meantime, raiding and getting stuff done and taking names. But how much do you want to hear about it? Hey, Queen Ansarek is a pain in the ass, and boy howdy is that first phase of her fight a pain in the butt for tanks and back. I mean, we could do that. Or I could come on here and say I missed raid night because I got sick and had a fever. And I feel bad about it. I left all my friends to fend on their own. It was a sad day for everybody.